Investors. It's Monday, March 31st. And what do we see today? Just to recap, we're looking at right now it's the Qs, and we're seeing a bounce here right off of this level, key level, I might add. Right here we bounced pretty hard at it looks like 458, 459, bounce late day rally. If we broke that, I'd be much more concerned. And we're going to head much lower in the short term. But here we're seeing there's some resistance here to go lower. So it looks like we have support, at least for now. So I would again wait on any shorts that you have that you might want to put on the market and abide by this trend line pretty carefully. So we saw that strong bounce today until we get some conviction to the downside. I do think we'll go through some consolidation period, and either we'll break higher or we'll break lower. So we're going to see maybe some consolidation. We want to see what what is that? What does that look like? We want to see, are we going to pop out of this and head higher, or are we going to break this and head lower? So if we break down, then there's more of a chance we're headed much lower. Like I said, our our targets right here are probably around 480 on the Qs or 4 something on SPY, 420 or so on SPY. So yeah, we're still in this consolidation period. So we want to hold out, see how this plays out. We don't want to make any rash decisions at this point. We want to see which direction the market takes us. Now, from this perspective here on the MACD, looks like we could be headed lower. But again, let's wait and see on this consolidation here. How does it look? Are we breaking down, or are we gonna pop up and maybe we'll make new all-time highs? We'll get a giant relief rally, and then all the shorts will be completely decimated out of their positions. So it's happened before, it could happen again. So let's play careful here. I wanted to look at TLT. TLT, we are seeing some relative strength in TLT, but I do think this is more, like I said, a 1 to 2 year play versus a 30 to 60 day play. I think 30 to 60 days, probably not going to see much action out of the TLT. So until we break this downtrend here that we have, we want to see, maybe we retest this high right here, right over here. We retest this. If we do have strong conviction to the upside, we want to see a breakthrough, a retest, and go higher. Maybe with some small volatility in between. Okay, I do think that's the path, but do I think it'll happen right now? Probably not. I think we'll probably have it happen over here, 2026, or maybe even 2027, where we finally see that bull market start to emerge in TLT. And also, if you're into it, you could trade the TMF as well, which is TLT on steroids because it's 3x. But I don't recommend that for the average person. I'd recommend the TLT if you're going to go that route. But so yeah, let's take a look at our standard fare. Gold, gold intraday sold off a little bit. I think we're in a topping pattern. I think we will head back down to this 195 level eventually, but we're still in this topping pattern, so who knows where the top is. So we saw a small little pop today in gold and GLD, so good on that. Just a remark on Newmont. Newmont looks pretty good in the short term, but if we look at Newmont over, so they're saying, you have these people coming out and saying gold miners are a great buy. If we look at Newmont from a long-term perspective, we would have seen that you basically, since, let's just call it 1995, you've only been able to capture the dividends from 1995 till now, which is valuable, I guess. But, for adjusted for inflation, your returns are negative in Newmont. And Newmont is a stalwart of the gold industry. So I put more faith in Newmont than I do any of the junior miners. And this, until this breaks out to new all-time highs, so past 85, let's just say, there's just going to be volatility in here. So I think we're in no man's land with Newmont. If gold sells off, Newmont will sell off. And miners are a very hard area of the market. Never been a fan. If you're going to have some kind of gold exposure, then maybe in terms of royalties or something like that, you want to do something like that, that's okay. But overall, not a great fan of Newmont. Let's look at Hain, one of the bullish picks that I've said before. Looks like impending bullish MACD cross. It looks like we might head higher. My first target on Hain, as we come out, we rotate out of the NVIDIA trade, is probably we're going to head towards this 16 gap, but I want to say that it's in a basing pattern right now. So how long that lasts is who knows. But that basing pattern is going to last some time, and then I believe we're going to head higher. So, I mean, how much higher and when? I hope that 16 gap gets filled. When it's a matter of time, I believe. So, because we have that basing pattern. Also, we have a potential gap here. We do have a gap at 32, but a potential fill to 32 in the future. I would expect a long-term trend on that. So maybe we gap up at some big news, fill that gap, come down. There'll be some consolidation, and we'll work our way up over a number of years in Hain to restore this to its former glory, as it were, as it was to say. So, and we did see this big gap get filled, but you see how long it took. It took 5 years for that big gap to get filled. So I expect something similar to be happening in Hain. So some bullish action underneath the hood in Hain. In Farm, we see it's basically didn't move much at all. Another long-term bullish pick, I think. I think we're headed to 4 in Farm, which is where the gap is. So that's where we are. And Bitcoin, very popular. So if we look at Bitcoin, what do we see today? Went up 0.47%, so almost nothing. Could we be headed down to this level? So if we look at BTC USD, could we be headed down to 74 or so? Yeah, sure. That's about what 5 to 10% down from where we are now. So that totally could happen in the coming week or two, which is not a massive call. But I would be much more concerned if we saw a long-term trend line break. So the long-term trend is down here. That would enter us into a severe bear market if we broke, let's just say 50K. But in the short term, there could be some percentage of volatility here. I do expect some kind of retest in this area in the coming weeks. And then maybe we head higher or lower, but let's see how the market plays out. And there might be either a short here or a long, depending upon if we see this consolidation and then either breakout above or below with conviction. So let's keep that in our back pocket. SMH, one that I've talked about for a while. Yeah, so this has to do with the semis, and we're seeing again that support line is respected each time. It did retest the support line today, and it bounced off of that support line. So now what we want to see, does this bounce continue higher and take us to all-time highs, fill this gap here that exists right around 270, or do we run out of steam and then the momentum takes it down? Okay, and where we're looking, our first target, in my opinion, looks around 178 in SMH. But let's see what happens. There's no trade on this right now. I'm in a wait and see mode with SMH at this point. We do see a couple of gaps on the downside, but until it's confirmed that we break this line, I don't think we're going to head much lower. Again, we want to see a break with conviction to the downside, but that's not what we have today. So yeah, those are some major picks that I wanted to look at today and review today's action. Like, subscribe, comment. Let the market be with you. Take care. See you on the next one.